I've had a very stressful week, sort of like a feeling of overwhelm that I started to notice that showed up as pressure in my head, little migraines, shortness of breath, and a whole host of other somatic symptoms I won't bore you with. Let's just say I felt out of control. Luckily, I do know enough now not to ignore it, but to respond with some self-righting, which for me usually means some days off, time outside, rest, good food, restorative exercise. But have you ever felt like you're stuck in a cycle of stress? Like no matter what you do, things just keep feeling overwhelming? Would it make you feel better to know it's not just you? This feeling of helplessness, it's often described as learned helplessness, has been a topic of research for decades. But recent discoveries are shedding new light on this very human phenomenon, and the good news is it's not all doom and gloom. And I don't know about you, but after the week I've had, that's the kind of news I need to hear. Hi, I'm Adrienne, a movement specialist who helps people like you rediscover their well-being through the transformative power of embodied movement. Using the Anat-Baniel method of NeuroMovement, I guide you to heal and recover, unlocking a more vibrant and unrestricted way of living and being. So here's the old story. In the past, scientists believed learned helplessness was a learned behavior. Animals exposed to inescapable shocks would eventually stop trying to escape, seemingly learning that their actions were pointless. And this translated to human experience. Scientists thought, this must mean that chronic stress in humans could make us feel like giving up on improving our lives. This is what I call an abiotic factor. Abiotic meaning something in the environment that affects us or conditions us, something we learn, like cultural conditioning or like, this shock therapy experiment. But there's a twist. Recent research totally flips the script. It turns out that passivity in our response to stress might be our body's natural defense mechanism, not something learned, but actually a biotic response. When we're faced with constant pressure, a brain region called the dorsal raphe nucleus kicks in, essentially hitting the brakes on our ability to take action. And that's exactly what it feels like, just like I can't move. The key takeaway, we're not necessarily learning helplessness. We're experiencing a biological response to prolonged stress. Man, that's totally how I felt this week. So, here's some great news. You can take control of this biotic response. Passivity is not permanent. Another part of the brain, the medial prefrontal cortex, one of my favorite brain regions, is responsible for recognizing control. So when we experience situations where our actions make a difference, this region fires up, counteracting the dorsal raphe nucleus, and that allows us to break free from the cycle of felt helplessness. And movement can help you regain control. That's where my work comes in. NeuroMovement isn't just about physical benefits. It's a powerful tool for rewiring your brain. And here's how. First of all, physical activity, let's call it movement, is a well-known way to relieve stress, which can help calm the dorsal raphe nucleus and its inhibitory effects. NeuroMovement also builds confidence. Learning and mastering new movement patterns boosts your sense of accomplishment and self-agency. It fosters a can-do attitude. We work on somatically figuring stuff out. And then there's the mind-body connection. Movement with attention, which is one of the 9 essentials of the NeuroMovement method, can bridge the gap between your body and your mind, or at least the felt gap, let's call it. allowing you to become more aware of your stress response and actively work to manage it. So by incorporating NeuroMovement into your life, you're not just getting stronger and more flexible, well, those are great too, but you're training your brain to recognize how to take action, how to make choice, and how to break free from the cycle of the feeling of helplessness that is your natural biological response to stress. I call that building resilience. So if you are feeling stuck in a rut, just remember, it's a biological response to stress, and you are not powerless. And maybe by understanding the science behind stress and the role NeuroMovement can play, you can interact with creating your well-being and building a more resilient you. So if you're ready to take that kind of action, we have some awesome resources below to get you started. I highly recommend Posture Rescue if you've never done NeuroMovement before. I'll see you next time. If you're enjoying the content here on Moovy Show, did you know you can sign up to be on our exclusive Moovy A-list? Go to the link to subscribe at moviestudio.com. We've got personal experiments happening every week that you can join in on. That way, you won't miss out on getting your one good thing you can put to use right away to change your habits, your brain, and your life. Plus, we'll give you updates on all things just for our followers. You're worthy of moving into a meaningful, enjoyable life. We're here to help you do it.